Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. So, first of all, I gotta apologize for not uploading for 1 year because it's New Year. Um, so, it's gonna be the first video of 2021, and so Happy New Year to all. And I wanted to start the new year by making a game. Uh, Now, the game we're gonna be making is gonna be rock, paper, scissors. Now, as you might know, I've already made this in like older video of mine, but the problem was it was like the terminal version, which was not that fun, and I just wanted to make that a lot better. So let me actually show you what we have now. So I will also show you how you can convert this into a executable file using PyInstaller. So let me actually open it up so you guys can have a look at it. Um, Actually, let me just show it to you by running it real quick. Okay, what happened? So you can see after I click OK, this is kind of the UI. So we can click on rock. You win, computer chooses scissors, then you lose, computer chooses paper, then tie game, computer chooses scissors. So it's kind of like that. You can customize it if you want. So that's pretty cool. I'm just gonna cd to my directory real quick. So where is rock, paper, scissors? There we go. Copy the entire thing. Copy that and cd to rock, paper, scissors. And there we go. So let me get started. So first of all, we are going to be using Tkinter. So import Tkinter as tk. We don't want to refer Tkinter every time, so that's why. Then from Tkinter import message box. Message box, we will use it for some things which I will show you. Then import random for the randomly generated choices. Now making the root window. To do that, it's pretty simple. All we do is just step out root is equals to tk.tk with a capital T, and then main loop. So we just type out root dot main loop, not like that, main loop. And I also want to give the screen a title, so I will just type out root dot title and rock, paper, scissor, game, tutorial. Now we can also give it some geometry, but I prefer to use a canvas on top of the root instead of just using root dot geometry. It's up to you. So now I'm just gonna run this Python 3 tutorial.py. So you can see we have this window, rock, paper, scissors. It's pretty small. So now we have to make this window bigger. Luckily, it's not that difficult. Actually, just a second. Hide the sidebar. So now we are gonna be making the canvas. Now I already have a Tkinter tutorial. It's a pretty old one, but there are no depreciations in Tkinter, so you should be able to follow along with that also before starting with this tutorial, because that's like more of a beginner's video and this is a little up in the world, so please check that video out before doing this. So making the canvas, so the code is pretty straightforward for this one. We just name a variable canvas is equals to tk dot canvas with a capital C, apparently, canvas, and then we have to place it on the root, which is very obvious. The height will be height and the width will be width, and obviously we will have to define them up top, but for now I'm just gonna pack it to the screen. So we just type out canvas dot pack and put the parentheses. Now what I'm going to do is specify the game variables. Height will be 600 and the width will be 600. Save it and head to the rock paper scissors and run this file. So now you can see we have a much bigger screen. You can play around with the sizes and yeah, now we are gonna be making the frame. So if you could see that we have that sky blue thing where we have the buttons, so that's what we are gonna be making now. So it's very simple. All we do is just type out the variable name frame is equals to tk dot frame, and then we have to place it on the root, and the bg will be sky blue. Then we just type out frame dot place. So we don't use pack in the frame because then the frame will be really small. We use place. So then we can specify certain things. So the rel x I'm just going to specify 0.1 because the rel width will be 0.8 and the rel height will be 0.25 and the rel y will be 0.15. We will have to play around with these values, but it's just an approximation, and apparently our approximation was correct. That's pretty cool. Now I'm gonna be making the buttons. So making the buttons, and just type button is equals to, actually not button, making the rock button. Now I'm really specific with my variables. Now some of you might think that this is from the tutorial of Tokyo EdTech. The idea, yes, it was taken from him. I have to attribute him. But the code, it's mine. I had seen the tutorial, but all of this code that you're seeing, it's not from the tutorial. So if you think that I'm copying, no, that's not a thing. I'm just doing it by myself and I managed to succeed. So that's all the thing. So if you find some similarities in the variable naming and stuff, no, it's all done by myself. So I just have a rock underscore btn is equals to tk dot button. It has to be in the frame, and the text that we want a button to be having is rock. Now you can go descriptive with the text. I don't really want to specify a lot of things in there. So rock underscore btn dot place, and we wanna give it a rel x. I actually had really checked out the placing of the buttons. So I'm just gonna check what placing and I gone with. So rock btn. Okay, so we got rel x. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this thing. So it's good. Okay, I'm just gonna copy that and I'm gonna paste it right here. Save it. You can copy that down and run this file real quick. So now you can see, if you are using Windows, the UI will be kind of different. Even if you are using Mac, there is a chance that the UI will be a bit different. There's a lot of complexity after that. On Linux also the UI will be a bit different, so you gotta have a look at that. So if you are not, if you are like, hey, this UI is completely different, no, you haven't made a mistake. It's just that it's operating system specific. Now I'm gonna be making the paper button. So paper underscore btn is equals to tk dot button and the frame, and the text will be obviously paper, pretty obvious, and I'm just gonna go paper underscore btn dot place, and I'm gonna place it on the rel x of 0.4 and rel height of 0.25 and rel width of 0.15 and that should be pretty good. Do that. So we have the rock button and we have the paper button. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So now we are gonna be making the scissors button. The code is pretty much the same thing, but I just typing it out for your better understanding. And the frame, and we want the text to be scissors. And I'm just going to type out scissors button dot place and the rel x of 0.6 and the rel width of 0.25 and is that the rel height or the rel width? Okay, the rel height and the rel width. Okay, I think I have not spelled it correctly. 0.15. There we go. I think that's it. So I made the three buttons, and that's pretty cool. And now we are gonna be making like the entry, the label that was placed like at the bottom kind of thing. That's all we are gonna be making now. So making the result label, a label which will display the result. So that's what we are going to be making now. It's pretty simple, nothing too complicated. All we do is just about the name. So result underscore label is equals to tk dot label, and it should be obviously present in the root. We could make another frame where we could enclose the label in, but that's like not that efficient and also not that good. So yeah. So the default text will be make a move, and I'm just gonna place it. So result label dot place, and the coordinates for that were also kind of finicky. So I'm just gonna get these coordinates real quick. You can copy these coordinates. I just don't wanna like mess playing around. You can obviously play around with these coordinates. It's pretty simple, but like I already had them done, so that's why. So we have this thing make a move, and that's pretty cool. So now what we're gonna be doing is specifying the functions. Let's do that. We're gonna do over here make a variable functions. So the first function will be rock. For now I'm just gonna pass it, don't worry. The second function will be paper. For now I'm just gonna pass it, don't worry. Third function will be scissors. For now I'm gonna pass it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm making the choices list. So I'm just gonna be making a list of choices. So choices is equals to rock, paper, scissors. So these are the available choices that we have, and we want a random choice out of this. So I'm just gonna make a variable computer underscore choice is equals to random dot choice. So there's this thing in random called random dot choice, and it allows us to get any choice from a list. So we want it from choices obviously, and for now I'm just gonna go ahead and print out the computer choice. It's very simple and very standard. I'm gonna go to my rock button and add a command. So I want this. I want something to get executed every time this rock button is pressed. Now I usually add it in the form of a lambda expression because it makes the command really consistent in executing, and that's like a good practice. So that's why I just do it in that way. So adding the command, which is the rock function that we have made, run this. So you will see that over here, as soon as I click rock, you can see we have a randomly generating choice. Awesome. And so pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these two lines of code, copy them, go over here, paste them, go over here, paste them. Because like we obviously want a random choice every single time when we press any of the buttons. So then what we can simply do is just go to the paper button and add a command, which as I always told you, it will be a lambda. It's not always that you always need to add a lambda, but in certain areas which you will understand with the practice, you should add a lambda because otherwise you will face issues. Command is equals to a lambda. Scissors. Pretty cool. And then we can just run this side. So now that I've run it, we let's see what happens. So you can see it is actually working. So now we need to actually check for the kind of like the possibility, like the available things that we have. Like, so the if statements. Now those are really boring. So but still I'm gonna type them out. So checking for the wins. So that's what we're gonna doing. So if the computer choice, now we don't have to take care of the user choice because it's a button and not an entry. So if the computer choice is equals to rock, you have to choose what we have written in the list. Well, we just wanna print. Actually, we just wanna return it in a label. We just don't want any debugging right now. So I'm just gonna return it in the label that we had over here. So the result label. So I'm just gonna copy that name and result label. Okay, apparently I copied that line. Copy that again. And I'm gonna paste that. Grab the text property of it, and this will be equals to you lost. Actually, not you lost. I'm sorry. It's a tie game. Computer shows rock. Dot dot dot. So if the computer shows rock, we check for the tie. Else if the computer choice was equals to paper, well the person will lose because if you don't know how rock paper scissors works, I can't help it. But I assume in your childhood you should have at least played this game, otherwise you are living under a rock. Whatever. Pun not intended. Like the rock. Okay, that was a bad joke. Whatever. So if there's a paper, the paper will basically like wrap around the rock. So you basically will lose. So you lose. Computer shows paper. Dot dot dot. And otherwise, well, we have basically won because the computer chose a scissor and the rock will basically squash the scissor. So our result labels text property will be basically set to u1 computer shows scissors. And now the thing is, like, obviously the user can figure it out, but just for the sake of it, we are just typing that what the computer actually chose. You don't really need to do that. And I'm just gonna take this, paste it here. Obviously, we need to change some stuff. So if the computer chose rock, I'm gonna print out U1. If the computer chose paper, I'm gonna print out tie game. It gets a bit boring, but we can't do that. And otherwise, well, we are basically lost because the computer would have chosen scissors and the scissors will cut the paper. If the computer chose rock, we pretty much lose over here. So you lose. If the computer chooses paper, it's basically a tie game. So tie game. Otherwise, you won, I guess. Let me have a look. So if the computer would have chosen scissors. Okay, no, this should be you won. I was like, that should be not be tie, so you won. And I should just change this to tie game. There we go. So that's it. That is the entire game. And what I will also do is just over here, a comment showing showing the message box. So that little message box. So message box dot info show info, and it basically takes in the head and the body. So there will be rock paper scissors, and the body will be click the buttons to place your bet. Dot, dot, dot. Then there we go. We pretty much managed to make this cool little game. Let's see if it actually works. So click the buttons to place a bet. Rock. You won, computer choose scissors. You lose, computer choose paper. Tie game, computer choose paper. You won, computer choose rock. And there we go. We got a simple little game. Now it's just converted to an executable, so you can actually distribute it among your friends, and yeah, it will be pretty cool, right? It's actually very simple to do that. First of all, you need to obviously see if your pip is working. On Windows you will type out pip, on Mac you will type out pip3, on Linux you will type out pip3. And now enter in the command very carefully. I'm just gonna clear the terminal so you guys can see it better. So I make this pretty quick. So once you type out pip3, install py installer. Just install that up. If done correctly, py installer should be on your pad. And if you just type out py installer, you'll see what happens. So if you type out py installer, you can see we get a bunch of things. And now what I want you to do is, it's pretty simple. Just type out py installer hyphen one file hyphen w. Now you only type out hyphen w if the file you are dealing with is not a terminal file. So if this file is not supposed to be played in the console, the terminal, only then type out a hyphen w. Otherwise type out do not type out hyphen w. Don't just type out one file. And then you just type out the name of the file, so tutorial.py, and then just click on enter. And now what I want you to do is go to your finder. Now there is a chance I think this won't work for me because I've already done it. But for you it will probably work. But I'll see. So you can see you should get like these two folders, build and dist. And when you go to the dist, it takes some seconds. You should probably not have that right now. It takes some time, and it's basically converting this file that you have to an executable .exe file, which can also run on Macs. Because if you don't know, executables can usually only run on Windows, but this kind of an executable will run on Mac also. I'll try this open. So you can see it's like doing some of its stuff. It takes some seconds. You should wait for it to do all of that. I pretty much wanted to show you how many steps it takes, so that's why I'm not just pausing the video. That's why. Let me have a look at the recording. And put it back to my terminal. So let me actually go to my finder, go to my test, and there we go. You should not get this. You should probably get this and this. If you're on Windows, you should not get this. On Linux, I don't know. If you get, don't worry. Just click over here. Click on open. It will take a second or two, I don't know why, but it will open it up, and you will be able to use this application all you want. You will also be able to distribute this application to anybody. You can see the size is about 9.3 megabytes. It's certainly not something very very big. So you can click any of the buttons to place a bet, and you can just go over here and play rock paper scissors. Really, really, really good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It certainly was very very fun to make. Um, I will. I wish you guys a happy new year again. I hope you guys have a wonderful year. And I know 2020 was, not the best, but so that's it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the first video of 2021. I have many plans, so stick around. So yeah, until the next time, bye bye.